Alright, so a while ago I got what I would argue is the world's coolest pair of pants, but I'm currently having one issue with them. They are super long. So I was thinking in this video I could do a little Q&A while I hem and tailor these pants to fit a little bit better. Alright, so we have the first question here, which I bet is the biggest question out of all of this. When am I getting a camera? I don't have an exact date, but I will just say soon. Very soon. I've been saving up for a while now, and I've had some unfortunate events that made me have to set it back a little bit, but it will be very soon. Very soon. You mentioned in your previous video that your father moved to the United States. Where did he move from? My father is an immigrant from Brazil. He's been here for a long time, a very long time, but he's originally from Brazil, so I have a lot of family there. I have not been there yet, and I would love to go there. I just, haven't made it quite yet. How did you get into skating? Well, my friends were getting into skating, and I used to skate back in like high school, middle school, all of that. So they asked me if I wanted to get skates as well, and I of course said yeah. Sounded like a lot of fun, and it is a lot of fun. When I was sick, did I have COVID? I don't think so. I think it was just more like the flu or something else. Either way, I was still in my apartment here, quarantined for long enough where if it was COVID, then I wouldn't have spread it to anyone. What is my biggest motivation to keep going? Well, I'm not good with setting long-term goals, like this is where I want to be in 5 years or 10 years. I'm good with setting goals of where I'd want to be in like a month or so. So I will just think of ways where, okay, I want to be at this spot in a month, and I'll think of how do I want to get there. Do I keep emergency rations on hand, such as food and water if there's some sort of disaster? No, I don't. Maybe I should, but I feel like that's like asking for it in a way. That's sort of like, planning for something I don't want to have happen, so no, I don't do that. Where did I get my bicycle from after my last one was stolen? I found it on an app called, I forget the app's name, but it's like a Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist sort of an app. I just bought it used, went out to Queens, got it, then rode it like whatever it was, 10 miles home. So it was a good way to really break in the bike and get used to it. What camera setup do I suggest for beginners? I suggest this camera right here. Ignore my mess in the background, but just a phone. That's all I use to film my videos, and the picture, it's good enough. Everything is good enough about it. Of course, it could be better, which is why I'm trying to get a new camera, but if you're just getting into making videos, then use whatever you have available. So it's a phone, a cheap camera, whatever, everything is better than nothing. Do I have any siblings? Yes, I have an older sister. She's been in 2 videos now, one in New York here and one down in Atlanta. I can link those videos up here or put them in the description if you want to check those out. Would you recommend anybody to get into skating, and would skates be good for me? I think skates be good for anyone. There's all different types, whether you're, advanced or super beginner, whether you're doing it for fun, recreation, or, to get in shape, anything. I think they're great. When will I be starting some sort of Patreon or membership or merchandise? Very soon as well. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it right is my thing. I want to have it be perfect. I don't want it to just be some like half-ass thrown together cash grab thing. I want to have some actual benefits or something like that, which is why I'm considering just doing merchandise and scrapping the whole Patreon thing, because it's, more tangible. What is my favorite music to listen to? It really depends on like the weather outside, time of day, what kind of mood I'm in, all that kind of stuff. But I can put right here some of the albums I've been listening to recently. What was my college major? So it's a little bit confusing, but in high school I was in a program where I also took college classes, and with that I earned an associate's degree in renewable energy. When I started at a 4-year school, my major originally was film, but that got changed eventually to an art major, then that eventually got changed to a political science. So I'm kind of all over the place, but I like learning a lot of different things, I guess. How has any YouTube fame changed your life? Well, it's kind of interesting. I'm terrible at meeting people. I'm terrible at talking to people. So I've gotten recognized a couple of times walking around the street or at restaurants, things like that. I apologize for those people that I've met because, like I said, I'm terrible at talking to people and meeting people. And I will also go ahead and say I apologize in advance if I meet any of you on the street. But I think it's a super cool thing. The fact that people have come up to me and be like, hey, I've watched your videos, I've seen you in this. It's, it's really endearing, and I don't know, I appreciate it a lot. Am I working on getting any more historical clothes? Oh my gosh, of course. I would love to get a whole wardrobe of historical clothes. I mean, I would consider the pants that I'm tailoring in this video historical. But putting together a whole wardrobe, I think, is more of a long-term goal. Something I'd love to do over the course of, months or years, things like that. How do I choose places to walk? I do it depending on the weather or the kind of mood I'm in. If it's a shitty day out and it's like raining or snowing, I love being in Central Park, for instance. Places like that where you're away from the buildings and it's quiet. I think it's very peaceful. If I'm walking around at night, I will choose places that I think will look cool at night. So for instance, I've gone to Chinatown or up to the Christmas tree or walking over the bridge, just, different places like that. Since I've been in the small apartment for so long, do I ever think of what I'll do for my next apartment? Of course, I always think about it. I always think of different things I want to do for design or furniture, things like that, as well as area I'd like to be in. Why do I not use a camping toilet inside my apartment? That's just gross. I mean, I walk 10 foot down the hallway and I got a whole bathroom that gets cleaned every day. Why would I use a camping toilet in here, then have to empty it? And I also have food in here. It's where I cook and I sleep and no. Since I quit my job, what do I do for a job now? Make videos. Whenever anybody watches the videos, it's ad revenue I make. You see the ads sometimes throughout the video or just the beginning or the end or something. That's how I make an income now. Would I like to open my own barbershop in the future? Yes, 100% yes, 1000% yes. I have a lot of cool ideas for a barbershop, so it's not just a barbershop. I'll leave it at that. I don't want anybody stealing my idea. One of my long-term friends that I actually met in college is going to school soon to be a barber. I convinced him to do the same program I was in. So we've often talked about opening a barbershop together, and I'm sure when he's in school, I'll be going to visit him to get haircuts there. Not like big haircuts, just like, cleaning up, stuff like that, don't worry. But yes, to fully answer your question, yes, barbershop 100%. Yes, I'd love to do that in the city here. Last but not least, the final question. Do I have any advice for creating videos? My advice is to just do it. Obviously, things like life come first and personal issues come first. That's why I don't, create videos every day, even though I'd love to. But my best advice is to just do it. People say that mimicking or copying other style of videos is bad, but you can think of a creator you like, or you think of a film you like, or anything like that, and try to mimic the style of it in a way. You'll see just sort of the back end of, oh yeah, this is how it's done, things like that, and you can sort of develop your own style with that a little bit. But there's only one way to get better at making videos, and there's only one way to get more comfortable doing it, and that is to actually do it. So whether you make them and you share them publicly on like YouTube or somewhere, or you just make them and keep them private, I would say that's my best advice, is to just get out there and do it. The one thing you really have to get used to though is hearing your own voice and watching yourself on film, because nobody really hears their own voice minus when they're talking. So it's a little weird hearing your voice, play back to you, but you get used to it, and yeah, that's my best advice. Thank you to everybody who took the time out of your day to write a question in for this Q&A, and I really appreciate all the feedback I've been getting from all of you. If for some reason I managed to miss your question that you wrote in, then please go ahead and write it in the comments again, and I will be sure to write back a response right away.